Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. So you can see my new 2024 Porsche Cayenne. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go see the previous video where I show the full prep wash. So not only its first wash, but also all the decon steps. So now it is fully stripped of any previous paint protection. It's fully clayed. We removed the iron particles and brake dust as well. And today we're going to polish the vehicle and also apply the protection, a ceramic coating. And to do so, I have a special guest. You probably recognize him, Ivan LaCroix. Ivan, how are you?
Great, yourself, Ben?
Absolutely. Welcome back to the show. This is a tradition now. So every 3 years when I get a new vehicle, Ivan is in with the latest cutting edge technology as far as coatings are concerned. And if you notice on his shirt, he has a new logo. You guys might not know, but he created a sister company to DIY Detail, and it's called C6 Ceramics. So Ivan, quickly, if you can tell us what we'll be doing today, what we'll be applying. We're going to go over the products, a quick glimpse right here. Even the packaging looks amazing. And they're going to have a follow-up video as well. We're going to do a deeper dive, you and I, on all the technology specifics on it. But if you can tell us what are we doing, and yeah, tell us about C6 Ceramics. What are we applying on my Porsche?
So we're first going to be polishing it using the DIY system. You decontaminated, you prepped it all with the DIY system. We're going to be polishing with the gold standard polish because let's just say whoever washed this car before you got it at the dealership might need a bit of training or new products, one or the other. It was really scratched up.
Yeah, there's a lot of swirls, like every square inch, it seems. I don't know if you guys can tell or pick it up on camera, but yeah, I think they can see that right there. It's surprising, but we're going to do something about that.
Right. Then we're going to apply the app, which is our adhesion promoter polish. And this replaces a panel prep, and it's not a primer polish. It's really an adhesion promoter polish, but like you say, we'll dive into that deeper. And then you've chosen C6 Hydro. We have two high-level coatings. One is the C6 Diamond Gloss, and the other one is C6 Hydro.
So what's the difference quickly between both?
Both lifetime coatings, both great coatings, both the same price, but Hydro is focusing on hydrophobics, and Diamond Gloss is focusing on gloss. And unfortunately, we can't have both to 100%. But C6 Diamond Gloss is 100% glossy, and C6 Hydro is 100% hydrophobics. As hydrophobic as I've ever seen a coating, and it's as hydrophobic as we can make a coating.
So without doing too much of a deep dive in this one with the tech, what is in the coatings themselves? Are they SiO2? Are they graphene? What are they?
Polysiloxane, SiO2, silicon carbide, silicon nitride, and refined detonated nanodiamonds.
Oh boy, that's going to be an interesting video for those of you who wanted, like me, do a deep dive into all the tech. So this is the latest and bleeding edge in the technology. So guys, by the way, quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid for this video.
Nope.
I'm lucky enough to have Ivan and his awesome wife as well, Sylvie. She's a great detailer, so they'll be doing all the work, but you can grab these products. If you're a professional detailer and want to get into this, we'll have links in the description, but also a good reveal for my DIYers out there. You'll have a line for them as well, right?
Right, so C6 Hydro Light will be available by the time this video comes out, and it is a consumer-oriented version of C6 Hydro. Same great hydrophobic, same durability, everything. Just the carrier solvent's a little different, and it's a little friendlier when it comes to high spots. High spots are the bane of this coating. Not that they're easy to make a high spot, but if you accidentally leave a high spot, you're going to be paid.
So for these guys, you said lifetime on the vehicle, and for the light version, what can they expect as far as durability, realistically speaking?
Realistically, 6 to 8 years. And if they maintain it like any good Pan the Organizer fan should be maintaining their vehicle, it is going to last the lifetime of the vehicle.
And for maintenance for now, you can use the DIY Detail products, right? For
definitely,
these coatings. And you'll have something specific later on from C6, I think, as well.
There'll be a few items for C6. So we don't need to replace the DIY Detail line. It is great. It's phenomenal. It does the job. But there's a few things that are going to be C6 specific. One of them is a soap, and the other one is a drying lubricant. It's not a drying aid, or it's not a topper. It's literally a drying lubricant. So it's not adding any gloss. It's not adding any slickness. It's just making drying easier without depositing anything on the paint.
Perfect. So, well, let's dive into it. So the first order of business is to polish everything to perfection. So we did a test spot, and it seems that the DIY Detail, the gold standard polish with the yellow waffle pad here is the way to go, right?
Yep.
All right, let's do it, Ivan.
Off we go.
Let's do it. All right, so Ivan, you were using the yellow waffle pad, and now you're switching to the red jeweling pad, right?
Correct. The reason we're doing that is the owner of this car really, really likes gloss. So since he really likes gloss, we're going to amp up the gloss as much as possible using the red rotary jeweling pad. And we're not needing to wipe off the vehicle. We know we've got rid of the scratches. We know we got rid of the marring that was there. But this will just give it that little extra touch of gloss, and it's a quick, easy step. It's not like we're taking another 3 hours to polish the car.
And by the way, I see you're using your own DIY detail. This is a rotary polisher, and you have a DA.
Yep.
So this was spec'd by Ivan the way you like him, right?
Exactly. I designed it for me. So if you like polishing like I do, it'll be great. Even if you don't like polishing like I do, probably a nice machine for you as well. But just easy, well-balanced, lightweight. Only weighs less than 6 pounds.
And what speed are you on when you use a rotary?
1.
That's it. Guys, you see it right here. Only speed number 1.
Yeah.
All right, so Ivan, we're done polishing the vehicle. You also finished with the red jeweling pad, so this should give us the biggest gloss increase in measurable units.
Yes.
So now you're about to wipe the polish off.
Yep.
So with the DIY polish, what do you recommend?
I recommend a rinseless dampened towel. And there's a couple reasons for the rinseless dampening. First of all, I'm not having to put any pressure on the towel whatsoever. And the surfactants are there to help break down the polishing oils. So with that, then I can easily wipe off the polish residue. Again, no pressure whatsoever, reducing the risk of marring.
And there are no fillers in the DIY gold standard polish, right? So this is just a pure polish.
Exactly, pure polish. And also, this is a hybrid rinseless, meaning polymer and surfactants. But the surfactants always win. So we're not leaving anything on the surface.
Yes, that's very important because you don't want anything to interfere when you're applying the ceramic coating on the paint, so you don't apply the coating over existing protection.
Exactly.
So in the case of when you're wiping this now and we're going to apply the app primer polish,
Yeah.
so there is no need for a typical paint prep spray or an IPA solution in this case?
No, when you're using the gold standard, there's no need. If you're using another brand of polish and you're not sure that it has incompatible oils or solvents in it, then you'll want to maybe do a little panel prep after doing this.
Okay, so you would still wipe with a rinseless dampened towel first?
Yep.
Then use the IPA or your panel prep spray. That's if you're using a polish other than DIY gold standard polish.
Exactly.
As long as you stay in the ecosystem there's no panel prep needed. You can jump straight to using the app
Yep.
or the, how do you call it again?
Adhesion promoter polish.
Adhesion primer promoter polish.
Yeah, not a primer, it's a promoter.
And it should bump the gloss, from what I understand, even more compared to paint correction, which obviously this is the biggest increase in the measurable gloss units when you're correcting the paint.
Yeah.
You're removing the swirls, the scratches, the defects. You're making the paint truer and flatter, hence you're getting better light reflection. And we can already tell here, like all the swirls and the defects are pretty much gone. So what do you think? We achieved probably, what, 95 to 98% correction?
Somewhere around there,
So very high level.
without removing a lot of clear coat.
Exactly, because we're always trying to preserve as much clear coat as possible, guys. So always do it when, before we started filming, Ivan did a test spot to figure out what the best polish and pad combination would be. And you always use the less aggressive method to get to your desired level of finish. So the app is going to bump up the gloss units even more. And then at the end, the icing on the cake, obviously, the C6 hydro coating. And that should be like bananas crazy, right?
Yes.
Can't wait to see that. All right, Ivan, so we're ready to apply the app. I think it's a bit different compared to everything else that we've learned with polishing, right?
Exactly. So we want the least amount on here. I'm going to start with 4 drops, so very small drops.
And you're using the red jeweling pad?
The red jeweling pad on a 5mm stroke DA. And we want 9mm or less. So between 3 and 5 is ideal, but 9mm or less. And you don't need a lot of speed. You don't want any pressure.
We'll leave that polisher linked as well, by the way.
Yeah, it's a nice quiet polisher. And all we're doing with the app is spreading it. So as long as I see that I have product going on the surface, I don't need to add more to the pad. We're not removing anything. We're not doing anything other than applying this to the surface. And what it's doing, it's swelling the paint. And once that paint is swollen, there's a bit of polysiloxane and a bit of SiO2 in here that actually keeps the paint in a swollen state.
So you can do the glass, the lights, the trim, everything with that too?
Everything on the vehicle.
Basically everywhere you'll be applying the coating, you're going to use the adhesion promoting polish. Did I get that right?
Adhesion promoter.
Adhesion promoter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the nickname. And how long after applying this are you putting the coating on? Well, you have to wipe it, obviously.
We have to wipe it off, and it's a dry wipe, which is contrary to everything I've been teaching for the last 35 years. But dry wipe, and we can wipe it right now if we want to, or we can wait till tomorrow to wipe it. It really doesn't matter. There's no specific timing involved.
So very flexible. And once you're done wiping it off, then you can go straight to applying the coating, right? No need for a paint prep?
Exactly. We don't want to paint prep with this. This is your paint prep. It's deep cleaning. There's a bit of abrasive in there, but the abrasive is primarily just to help clean the surface. There's tea tree oil. That's where the smell comes from. That's a deep cleaner as well. We have a bit of SiO2, a bit of polysiloxane to keep the paint in that swollen state. And then when we put the coating on the paint, we're actually putting the coating in the paint. So super easy wipe off using a high nap towel, no pressure.
So plusher, thicker towel.
Yeah, about a 500 GSM. And you're not polishing to remove defects, you're just polishing to apply the product.
Does that leave any finish on the surface? Like, is this supposed to be?
No, it'll be grabby.
Okay, yeah. So this is going to help the coating really stick to it.
And now you're giving me more work. You touched it with your bare hands. I need to do it again.
Oh yeah, no touching, that's right. Ready to go. And for the coating to be able to bond as well on the wheels. All right, so it's time to apply the ceramic coating, guys. I'm going to do the unboxing because the presentation is premium as well. So not only the front has this satin kind of effect, but there is a seal that you slice open, and then you can slide this beautiful box open, and inside there you get the hydro, or depending if you get the diamond gloss version. So we're going for the hydro on my vehicle because we want the superior hydrophobic properties, and you get this aluminum bottle. Look at that. And this is what we'll be applying. So let's see the master at work, and he'll be explaining how you apply this as well. All right, Ivan, so we're ready to apply the coating?
Yep, foam applicator. We're going to start with 10 or 12 drops.
So the same applicator as you'd use for the DIY coatings?
Exactly. This is a sister, or let's say a pretty good technology match to DIY. Just a few additional ingredients in this.
Okay.
And normally I start by boxing a panel, but since I'm priming the pad, I'm going to start in the center of the panel and work my way to the edge, because you don't want to apply it too thick. Now in this color, it's a little difficult to see the coating.
Yeah, I see it with the reflection of the light.
Yeah.
So you're spreading it out to make sure you're not getting any high spots and not applying too thick?
Exactly. Too thick is actually not a good thing. What we're doing here is we're depositing the coating inside of the clear coat. With the app, we've swollen the clear coat and opened up all the pores. So.
And when you're applying this, you're going to be a two-people person, so one can apply and the other one wipes?
Right.
You have to wait a long time before starting to wipe. How do you know when it's time?
It's a visual cue. It all depends on humidity and temperature.
Okay.
But it's a rainbow style coating, meaning we we look at it and apparently, oh yeah, see I've got way too much here. So let me pick that up. And when 50 to 60% of the rainbowing is gone and you're back to clear, that's when we take the towel and level. But if you notice, we have almost no high spots or nothing to level.
And we can see the rainbowing just starting now. So
yeah,
we're in ideal conditions here, but what are ideally the temperature and humidity you want to be in roughly?
70% or 70 degrees and about 30% humidity.
Okay.
You can go up to 110 degrees and you can go up to 99% humidity.
Okay.
We've done that one, not fun. It cures a little faster that way. And you can go as low as 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
So for people's knowledge, here we are at 21 Celsius or roughly 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We're at 45% humidity. What's the curing time on this once you're done applying and leveling?
1 hour can drive in the rain and 7 days before washing.
So the 7 days, that's typical, but an hour you can release to the customer.
Yes.
You can drive off in the elements.
Right. As a coating company, I don't want to pay rent in anyone's shop. I don't want to be the one telling them you need to keep the car for 8 hours or 24 hours.
Yes.
1 hour, they can drive away.
So you have to wait for it. You kind of know with experience when it's time to start leveling. Here we can see the rainbowing. See that in the light reflection? You can see that rainbow effect, kind of like an oil slick on water.
Yeah.
So that's your visual cue. So one person, ideally if you're working two, one can coat and the other can start leveling.
Exactly. In that first section, like I said, I was a little thick on application because of trying to prime the pad. But now that it's primed, the rest will go a lot faster.
So you're not adding 10 to 12 drops every time. You're just basically keeping it moist and gliding on the surface, right?
Yeah.
A few more drops.
Just 1 or 2 drops.
That's it. And you can coat all the surfaces of the vehicle, right, with this?
Everything with the exception of the tires.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wheels, plastic trim, glass, paint, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly.
Headlights, tail lights.
Your clear coat is a plastic, and all the trim is plastic. All the clear coat on the wheels is plastic. Everything, the windows we can coat as well. Of course, on any window, the coating life is dependent on abrasion. So the less abrasion you have, the longer it's going to last. If it's raining out and you're still using your wipers, then the coating might not last too long on the windscreen. But on the windscreen, if you're careful and you keep it clean, you don't use your wipers a lot when it's raining, it's going to last pretty much as long as the paint.
And for maintenance, is any topper required?
No.
Or is it optional?
It's optional. It's up to you. A topper with this coating will definitely dull the hydrophobics. So it's something that you've never seen hydrophobics like this pan, and when you do, you won't want to put a topper on it.
Yeah, I saw a video from another vehicle you applied on, and it seemed nuts. And if a person really wants to apply something else, they can still use the DIY line, something like ceramic gloss.
Oh, yeah.
Beads, right?
Definitely.
So it's all compatible.
Yeah, everything's compatible. There's no, we don't have a lot of maintenance products for C6 because they're not necessary. Just keep it clean. That's all you need to do.
Just wash it.
Decontaminate it once a year, depending on how much mileage and how it's stored. Your vehicle, it's in the garage. You don't need decontamination every year. Someone that parks it outside, goes to a construction site every day, they might need decontamination every 3 or 6 months. So
synthetic decontamination towel like you guys have in the line, DIY, that's fine with this?
Perfect.
As long as you have a lubricated surface?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
What's the pH scale resistance, like chemically resistant? How good is this one?
2 to 13.
So a very wide range.
Yeah. And if you look here, you might be able to get it with the camera. We haven't leveled here yet. Do you see anything?
No.
And
what do you want me to see? I don't see anything.
Exactly.
So it self-levels a lot.
Pretty much self-leveling. Once you get the quantity, the appropriate quantity on your pad, just go around the vehicle and...
So your first towel is going to be a pearl weave, kind of lower nap, right?
Yeah.
We're used to. And then the second towel is your plusher, thicker, to remove any residual stuff on.
The insurance wipe.
Insurance wipe. There we go. All right. Is there anything else you want to add, Ivan?
Well, now that we've done the hood and my pad is properly primed, now I'm going to be boxing in the panel, and I always overlap onto the next panel. That way I'm guaranteed that I'm not missing anything, and then I fill in with a circular motion.
That makes sense. So you go above and beyond the edge and above and beyond the panel.
Yeah.
So the person that's wiping must also take note of that and also wipe further past the edge of the panel, right?
Exactly. Sylvie and I have been applying coatings together for 20 some years now, so it's an easy process for us, but someone that's new to working with someone as a partner, basically tell them what you're doing. So front fender, then I'll do the mirror, the A-pillar, and work my way back. So if you tell the person what you've applied to, they don't have to look at it, they just know that you've done the front fender. And we always overlap onto the previous and the next panel.
And somebody that's working alone, can they still apply the coating?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
You just unfortunately have to start and stop.
So one panel at a time,
Yeah,
and then wipe off when it's time, and then move on to the next one.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, there's like, you can tell once that rainbowing is dissipated, at self-leveling, there's almost nothing on the panel. That's very different from what we're used to with coatings. Imagine what the result is going to look like, guys. Look at this after just polishing and the app. Look at the profile. The gloss is already insane. And the coating, I guess, Ivan, this is like the other ones. Even if it cures after an hour, you can drive it off in the elements for this full 7 days before you wash it.
Exactly.
It continues its curing process, and the gloss will gradually increase over those days as well,
Yes.
and coming weeks probably.
Yeah, the gloss is definitely going to be increasing as you go.
Reading the coating, the glass roof. It's a full panoramic sunroof. And of course, the wheels as well, because why not? So Ivan, a lot of people think that on wheels, you have to absolutely apply a dedicated wheel coating.
Yeah.
But your philosophy is a bit different on that one.
Slightly different, yeah.
What's your take on it? So I see you're applying the C6 Hydro on the wheels as well, which means definitely they can be in that harsher environment.
Yeah. So a wheel actually isn't that harsh of an environment. We perceive it as such, but what's harsh is actually the detailer's treatment of it. The wheel, we've driven the car for a week. We wash the body with a nice pH neutral shampoo, and then we attack the wheel with a very caustic product. Then we use brushes that we'd never use on the paint, and we never use water spot remover. And that is what actually stops the beading on most wheels, is you're driving along, your wheel's a little warmer because you've hit the brakes a couple times. The water that's getting on it, the mist from the road and all that, is causing basically just one big water spot over the whole wheel. By cleaning it with a water spot remover once in a while, you're going to remove that mineral content and expose the coating again.
So it's masked by all those minerals, so you think the coating might be dead, but it's actually just like the paint.
Yeah.
When you're doing the rejuvenation or kind of decon kind of wash, and mineral spot removers are one of those, or if you use acidic shampoos to remove the mineral deposits, whatever you use to unveil and reveal the actual hydrophobic properties. So the wheels is the same exact thing.
Exactly. And this is a clear coat just like the rest of the body. The harsh environment is back here, especially when you're doing a burnout. But
yes,
that's the harsh environment.
Yeah, because all the stuff gets projected on there, acts kind of like sandpaper as well.
Exactly.
And for maintenance, so on this one, you don't even need to use a wheel cleaner. Like you could just use your car shampoo and that would be enough.
Exactly. If you're cleaning the wheel every week, you never need anything harsher than just your regular rinseless or soap.
And this is awesome because they're big 22-inch wheels, so we don't even have to remove them off the body. They go right in there.
Yeah, it can do almost a wheels off coating without taking the wheels off.
Exactly.
I can get actually the back lip of the wheel all the way in.
So very little maintenance, just like the paintwork itself. No toppers needed.
No.
And if people were to use the wheel and tire cleaners, if they still want to, the coating should still be able to resist that, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So it has that pH resistance. So no worries there. What about if people want to bring their coated vehicle with C6, if they absolutely want to use an automatic car wash or tunnel wash?
Yeah.
Of course, we never always recommend that, but can they still do it without fearing that they're going to destroy the coating?
The only thing that removes the coating is abrasion. So if you're going to a touch-free wash, not a problem. If you're going to one with the brushes, yes, you are eventually going to damage your coating. But a lot of people get a coating on their vehicles for convenience. They don't get it, as detailed as we look at this and we want it glossy, we want it perfect. A lot of people, their whole idea of getting a coating is, I'm gonna have to wash it less often and it's gonna stay looking better. They're not in it for the same reasons we are. But for a lot of people, the investment that they make in getting a coating, even though they're going through the car wash once a week, is still a valid investment and they're still very happy with it.
So no problems to use it, but of course, yeah, avoid those nylon bristle style, as any mechanical will abrade the coating off. Just like if you were polishing your coating with a polishing compound and a scrubbing pad or a compounding pad, you're obviously going to braid the coating off.
Exactly.
So he's done with one wheel. Now Sylvie is wiping. So one towel again for the leveling, just like we normally would, and your second flusher towel is your insurance to remove whatever residue there might be, but this levels so good, guys. All right, guys, time for the reveal, the awesome results. Ivan, if you can step aside 1 second, look at this. It is ridiculous. I don't know what else I can say. So it's been a few hours now. I can already tell the gloss, and I'm sure you guys can on camera as well, but in person, it's nuts. The slickness is there and it's only going to improve. Yep. So we already are surpassed an hour of curing, so I could drive this outside in the elements, no problem. Of course, the 7 first days, no washing, just as any other coating, you gotta take care of that. But the 1 hour I think is amazing, 1 layer system. The application was very easy. So I noticed you guys sped through it. Of course they were too, but still, if we weren't talking for the camera, how long do you think, so between the polishing steps, the application of the app, the adhesion promoter, and the application of the coating, so those 3 steps, 2 people, how long do you think for a vehicle like this?
2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours, so super quick. The vehicle's out the door. If you're solo, how much time do you think it would have taken you?
4 or 5 hours.
So a good experienced detailer, half a day, less than half a day, you're done. So basically 2 cars a day if you want.
Yes.
You can have this out of your shop. And of course, the earlier you can release the vehicles to customers, the more free space you have in your shop and the more income you can have because you're doing more customers. So the results are absolutely stunning. Again, no toppers needed, by the way. However, if you do want to apply something on top, DIY detail line is fantastic for that. So there's ceramic gloss as a drying aid. They also have the quick beads, so spray on, rinse off sealant, which is very good, by the way, because although we applied the coating on the wheels as well, if you want for maintenance, and even if you don't have any protection, spray on, rinse off is so easy. You clean your wheel, you rinse it off while it's still wet, you're gonna spray it on, and then you wait 30 seconds roughly with the DIY detail quick beads. You rinse, I know you like to do from bottom to top.
On the wheel, it doesn't really
matter.
Yeah.
So spread that around regardless if you have a garden hose or pressure washer, and that's going to apply easy protection. It will give you not only the hydrophobic properties, but the self-cleaning, making your wheels much easier to clean during your next maintenance wash.
Exactly.
Speaking of hydrophobic properties, let's do some water behavior tests, guys. First, starting with the hood, look at how round, how tight those water beads are. The water's just dancing on the surface. And of course, it's very quick to evacuate off. So the water sheeting rate is very, very quick. Very aggressive water contact angle. Let me bring you in for a close-up. Look at how round and how tight those water beads are. Tons of those little droplets. The self-cleaning is going to probably be second to none. And of course, drying the vehicle when you're done washing it is a breeze. Look at how quick the water just flies off. Let's try the windshield now so you can see it on glass surfaces. So same here again. That water is just dancing off the glass. Super tight, super round water beads. And I just love the hydrophobics. I have to say these are likely some of the best, if not the best I have seen. Even better so than my Roar coatings that was on my previous Porsche 911 Turbo S. I mean, look at the glass. Even that's almost bone dry, just a few droplets left. You take your car dryer or leaf blower and boom, you're good to go. This car is going to be a breeze to dry. On vertical surfaces, look at that. Look at how quickly the water sheets off the panels. You get that same super tight round water beads and very quick sheeting. Disgusting levels of hydrophobic properties. It's nuts. And once again, to dry the panel off very quick with the Ego leaf blower here. On the side glass, same here. We covered all the exterior surfaces with the coating. So trim, paint, glass, wheels, lights, you name it. And again, super tight, very clean and round water beads. Look at that. The wheels, the same thing here. So the spokes and the inner barrels, you can see the water just fleeing off there in the barrels and shedding off quickly. Very, very tight beads. And drying once again will be a breeze. So thumbs up for some of the best, if not the best, water hydrophobic behavior of any coating I have tested. So again, all the details, guys, for the products will be in the description under the video. So regardless if it's the C6, either the gloss, how do you call it, the gloss version?
Diamond gloss.
Diamond gloss, or the C6 Hydro. On this vehicle, we applied Hydro because I wanted the slight preference for the hydrophobic properties. It's already glossy enough, but if you want even more gloss, you can go for the other version.
Diamond gloss, yeah.
And for DIYers or consumers, if you guys want their consumer line, they have the C6 Hydro Light, which will be available for everyone to purchase. Again, links in the description. If you want to become a professional installer or authorized installer for C6 ceramics, again, there will be a link as well. You can sign up for that. They will reach out to you and you guys can get the ball rolling. And it's going to be a very simplified process.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm looking forward. You're going to see many videos of this in the future. Of course, this is going to be the star of my channel for the next 3 years. And I'm going to get to enjoy doing follow-ups with you guys. You're going to see this in real world, but I'm already very excited because this is the bleeding edge, again, of technology. So if we have a quick follow-up of the 5 techs that are in there, you said polysilazane,
right?
SiO2,
exactly,
silicon nitride,
right?
Detonated nano diamonds,
refined
detonated nano diamonds, and the last one, silicon carbide.
Exactly.
So all that technology, guys, there's reasons for each one. And if you want to learn more about why there's all these components, you're going to watch my next video. Depending on when you're watching, it's either already available on my channel or coming soon, where we're going to do a deep dive on all the coatings in the C6 ceramics line, but also the DIY detail coating, so the 3-year, the 5-year, and the 8-year. What is each one, what's in there, and who are they for? So Ivan, I want to give you a big thank you.
Thank you,
Once
sir.
again, you guys did a fantastic job. I also want to give a shout out to Sylvie, his wife, the camera woman right now. She did a fantastic job. 2 awesome detailers, guys, but more importantly, 2 amazing human beings that I consider my friends. We've been seeing each other since like 2017 at this point.
Yeah, when you started your channel.
Ivan was very early on in my channel, and we just had a blast since. I continue to learn a lot from this man. You can watch him on the DIY Detail YouTube channel, also on the C6 Ceramics YouTube channel. Check all those out. Show them the Pandy Organizer support. Follow them, and you're going to learn a lot of things because they give a lot of tutorials. If you want to see how these things are done, how they're applied, learn about the cool tech, the latest, the greatest, follow everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, all the links in the description. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and we'll see you on the next one.